Welcome to Funny EHS Info. In today's video, we'll be covering SBTET Industrial Safety Paper 8, IS 108, which focuses on safety in the construction industry. We'll discuss essential safety measures, common hazards, and best practices to ensure a safe working environment on construction sites. Whether you are preparing for exams or seeking practical safety knowledge, this video will guide you through the key concepts. Stay tuned as we explore the world of construction industry safety. 1. What is meant by demolition? Demolition refers to the process of dismantling, tearing down, or destroying a structure or part of a structure, typically using machinery or explosives. 2. What are the safety measures in piling operation? Use proper personal protective equipment, PPE. Ensure equipment is well maintained and inspected regularly. Implement safety barriers and warning signs around the piling area. Provide training for workers on safe piling practices. 3. What are the welfare measures for construction workers? Provide access to clean drinking water and sanitation facilities. Ensure availability of first aid facilities and medical care. Offer adequate rest breaks and shelter from extreme weather conditions. Implement safety training and health programs. 4. What are the hazards in crane operation? Overloading the crane. Inadequate maintenance or inspection. Improper setup or positioning. Contact with power lines. Falling loads or load swings. 5. What is meant by scaffold? A scaffold is a temporary structure used to support workers and materials during the construction, repair, or maintenance of buildings and other structures. 6. Write about perimeter fencing. Perimeter fencing is a safety barrier installed around the boundary of a construction site to prevent unauthorized access, protect workers, and secure equipment and materials. 7. Define excavation and confined space. Excavation, the process of digging or removing earth to create trenches, foundations, or other openings. Confined space, an area that is not designed for continuous occupancy and has limited means of entry and exit, posing potential hazards such as poor ventilation or toxic atmospheres. 8. What is the concept of maximum allowable slopes? Maximum allowable slopes refer to the steepest angle at which soil or other materials can be safely excavated or piled without risking collapse or failure. 9. What is maintenance, and explain its types? Maintenance, activities performed to keep equipment or structures in good working condition. Types. Preventive maintenance, regular, scheduled maintenance to prevent breakdowns. Corrective maintenance, repairs made after equipment or systems have failed. Predictive maintenance, using data and inspections to predict and address potential issues before they cause failures. 10. What is meant by hazardous atmosphere? A hazardous atmosphere is an environment where the air contains dangerous levels of toxic chemicals, flammable gases, or insufficient oxygen, posing risks to health and safety. 11. What are the safety precautions for storing dangerously reactive materials? Store materials in compatible containers and away from incompatible substances. Use proper ventilation and isolation measures. Implement strict labeling and handling procedures. Train personnel on emergency response procedures. 12. List the types of occupational hazards. Physical hazards, example, noise, radiation. Chemical hazards, example, toxic substances, flammable materials. Biological hazards, example, bacteria, viruses. Ergonomic hazards, example, repetitive strain, poor workstation design. Psychosocial hazards, example, stress, harassment. 13. What are the safety precautions while using a staircase? Ensure staircases are well lit and free of obstructions. Use handrails and maintain proper grip while ascending or descending. Keep steps and treads in good condition and free from spills or debris. Wear appropriate footwear with good traction. 14. What is pneumatic caisson? A pneumatic caisson is a type of caisson used for underwater or underground construction, with an airtight chamber to allow workers to operate in pressurized conditions. 15. What are the safety precautions to store and handle cement? Store cement in dry, covered areas to prevent moisture absorption. Use proper PPE, including masks and gloves, to avoid inhaling dust. Ensure proper ventilation in storage and handling areas. Follow correct procedures for lifting and transporting cement bags. 16. What are the special precautions for constructing chimney silos? Implement fall protection measures for workers. Ensure proper support and stabilization of structures. Use appropriate materials and construction techniques. Conduct regular inspections and maintenance. 17. What is the importance of the construction industry in India? The construction industry plays a crucial role in economic development, infrastructure growth, job creation, and urbanization in India. It contributes to the development of residential, commercial, and industrial projects. 18. What are accidents in the construction industry? Accidents in the construction industry include falls from heights, equipment malfunctions, falls of materials, exposure to hazardous substances, and injuries from manual handling. 19. What is meant by cantering? Cantering refers to the temporary support structures used during the construction of arches, vaults, and domes until the permanent structure is completed and self-supporting. 20. What is shielding? Shielding is the use of barriers or protective structures to protect workers from hazardous materials, falling objects, or environmental hazards. 21. What are the various ways to improve housekeeping at the worksite? Maintain cleanliness and orderliness in work areas. Implement regular waste disposal procedures. Ensure proper storage of tools and materials. Conduct routine inspections and address hazards promptly. 20. To list any two precautions prior to demolition. Conduct a thorough structural assessment to ensure safety. Disconnect and isolate utilities such as electricity, water, and gas. 23. List any 4 occupational hazards in construction. Falls from heights. Exposure to hazardous substances, example, asbestos, chemicals. Machinery and equipment accidents. Electrical hazards. 24. Write any two safety precautions for storing dangerously reactive materials. Store in specially designed containers and separate from other materials. Implement strict access controls and labeling to prevent accidental mixing. 25. What are the safety precautions regarding scaffolding? Ensure scaffolding is erected by qualified personnel and inspected regularly. Use proper materials and construction techniques. Provide fall protection and safe access to the scaffold. Keep the scaffold clean and free of hazards. 26. What is good housekeeping? Good housekeeping involves maintaining cleanliness, orderliness, and proper organization in the workplace to prevent accidents and improve efficiency. 27. Write any two safety precautions for cement storage. Store cement in a dry, well-ventilated area to prevent moisture damage. Use proper lifting techniques and PPE when handling cement bags. 28. List out any 4 fire safety measures as per the National Building Code. Install and maintain fire alarm and detection systems. Provide adequate fire exits and escape routes. Use fire-resistant materials in construction. Implement fire suppression systems such as sprinklers. 29. List out any safety precautions on transmission lines. Maintain safe distances from live power lines and use insulated tools. Ensure proper grounding of equipment and follow safety procedures during maintenance. 30. State the types of scaffolds. Supported scaffolds, built from the ground up with supports such as poles and frames. Suspended scaffolds, hang from overhead supports, usually with ropes or cables. Rolling scaffolds, equipped with wheels for mobility. Cantilever scaffolds, supported by a cantilevered platform without ground support. 31. List out the fire safety measures as per the National Building Code. Fire detection and alarm systems, install smoke detectors, fire alarms, and automatic fire detection systems. Fire suppression systems, implement sprinklers, standpipes, and fire extinguishers as required. Fire doors and compartmentalization, use fire-resistant doors and partitions to contain fire and smoke. Emergency lighting and signage, ensure emergency exits are well lit and clearly marked. Fire escape routes, provide clear and accessible fire escape routes and ensure they are kept unobstructed. Fire safety training, regularly train employees and occupants in fire safety procedures and evacuation plans. Fire drills, conduct regular fire drills to practice and evaluate the effectiveness of the emergency response plan. Building materials, use fire-resistant building materials and ensure proper installation and maintenance. 32. What are the important precautions to be taken during the loading and unloading of petroleum products? Use proper PPE, ensure that all personnel wear appropriate protective clothing and equipment. Avoid ignition sources, keep away from open flames, sparks, and electrical equipment. Proper ventilation, ensure adequate ventilation to disperse any fumes or vapors. Safe handling, use proper procedures for handling and transferring petroleum products. Emergency response, have spill containment and emergency response measures in place. Inspection, regularly inspect equipment and containers for leaks or damage. Training, train personnel in safe handling practices and emergency procedures. 33. State the health effects of painting and list the prevention measures from hazards. Health effects. Respiratory issues such as asthma and bronchitis from inhaling fumes. Skin irritation or dermatitis from contact with chemicals. Eye irritation from splashes or vapors. Long-term exposure can lead to more serious health problems, including cancer. Prevention measures. Use low-VOC or water-based paints to reduce harmful emissions. Ensure proper ventilation in work areas. Wear appropriate PPE such as masks, gloves, and goggles. Follow safe handling and storage guidelines for paint products. Provide training on safe painting practices and emergency procedures. 34. List the heavy equipment used in construction and state the safety rules maintained by operators. Heavy equipment. Excavators. Bulldozers. Cranes. Backhoes. Loaders. Dump trucks. Safety rules for operators. Ensure proper training and certification for equipment operators. Conduct pre-operation inspections and maintenance checks. Follow safety guidelines for operation and use of equipment. Use appropriate PPE and ensure proper communication with ground personnel. Maintain clear visibility and be aware of surroundings. Adhere to load limits and stability guidelines. 35. Explain the types of excavation. Trench excavation, digging narrow, deep trenches, often for utilities or foundations. Requires careful shoring to prevent collapses. Pit excavation, excavating a large, shallow area, typically used for foundations or basements. Channel excavation, creating long, narrow channels for drainage or other purposes. Cut and fill excavation, removing material from one area, cut, and using it to fill another area to create level ground. 36. Prepare a safety checklist for the time of demolition activity. Pre-demolition inspection. Assess the structure for stability and hazards. Obtain necessary permits and approvals. Disconnect and secure utilities, electricity, water, gas. Safety measures. Implement barriers and warning signs around the demolition site. Use appropriate PPE, hard hats, gloves, eye protection. Ensure all workers are trained and briefed on safety procedures. Maintain clear access routes for emergency services. During demolition, monitor the stability of the structure and surrounding areas. Follow procedures for handling and disposing of hazardous materials. Ensure proper dust and noise control measures. Post-demolition. Inspect the site for remaining hazards and secure it. Properly dispose of debris and materials. Conduct a final safety review and report any issues. 37. Explain the types of trench failures. Cave-in, a sudden collapse of trench walls, leading to the trench collapsing inward. Lateral spread, the trench walls moving outward, causing the soil to spread away from the trench. Topple, the upper part of the trench walls tilting inward, often due to excavation too close to the edge. Heave, upward movement of the trench floor due to pressure from surrounding soil. 38. Explain the safety precautions for welding structural steels. Protective equipment, wear appropriate PPE, including welding helmets, gloves, and protective clothing. Ventilation, ensure proper ventilation to disperse welding fumes and gases. Fire safety, keep flammable materials away from the welding area and have fire extinguishing equipment readily available. Electrical safety, ensure all electrical equipment is properly grounded and maintained. Training, provide training for welders on safe practices and emergency procedures. 39. Explain the methods of demolition. Manual demolition, using hand tools or small equipment to dismantle structures. Mechanical demolition, using heavy machinery such as excavators with hydraulic attachments or bulldozers to bring down structures. Explosive demolition, using controlled explosives to bring down structures, often used for large buildings or industrial facilities. Selective demolition, removing specific parts of a structure while preserving others, often for renovation projects. 40. Discuss safety measures in different construction operations. Excavation, implement shoring and shielding, provide proper training, and monitor for collapse risks. Scaffolding, ensure proper erection and inspection, use guardrails and fall protection, and maintain clean and safe working surfaces. Crane operation, conduct regular inspections, maintain clear communication, and follow load limits and stability guidelines. Concrete work, use PPE, ensure proper curing and handling, and follow safety procedures for mixing and pouring concrete. 41. Explain safety precautions in underwater special operations concerning irrigation works. Dive safety, ensure divers are properly trained and equipped with necessary gear. Communication, maintain clear communication between divers and surface personnel. Emergency procedures, have emergency response plans and equipment in place. Site preparation, inspect the site for potential hazards such as strong currents or debris. 40. To discuss the sequence of demolition operations from a safety angle. Planning, conduct a detailed assessment of the structure and obtain necessary permits. Preparation, disconnect utilities, set up barriers and warning signs and train personnel. Execution, use appropriate methods and equipment, monitor stability, and ensure safety measures are followed. Post-demolition, secure the site, dispose of debris properly, and review the demolition process for any issues. 43. What are the safety guidelines for silos? Regular inspection, inspect silos for structural integrity and potential hazards. Ventilation, ensure proper ventilation to prevent the buildup of dust or gases. Safe entry, follow procedures for safe entry and work inside silos, including the use of PPE and confined space protocols. Emergency response, have emergency procedures and equipment in place for dealing with fires or entrapments. 44. Explain the roles and responsibilities of a construction safety officer and safety committee. Construction safety officer. Develop and enforce safety policies and procedures. Conduct safety inspections and audits. Provide safety training and guidance to workers. Investigate accidents and incidents and implement corrective actions. Safety committee. Review and develop safety policies and procedures. Address safety concerns and recommend improvements. Promote safety awareness and communication among workers. Monitor compliance with safety regulations and standards. 45. What are the health effects of handling asphalt fumes? How to control pollution in an asphalt plant? Health effects. Respiratory issues, including asthma and bronchitis. Skin irritation or dermatitis from direct contact with asphalt. Potential long-term effects, including cancer. Control measures. Implement proper ventilation and exhaust systems in the plant. Use PPE such as masks and gloves. Regularly monitor and control emissions. Provide training on safe handling and emergency procedures. 46. Discuss the safety aspects of tunneling, staircases, and railings. Tunneling. Use proper shoring and support systems to prevent collapses. Ensure adequate ventilation and monitoring for hazardous gases. Implement safety procedures for workers and emergency response plans. Staircases. Ensure staircases are well maintained, properly lit, and free of obstructions. Use handrails and maintain clear markings. Railings. Install guardrails and barriers to prevent falls. Ensure railings are properly maintained and meet safety standards. 47. Explain the safety aspects in the use of personal protective equipment specific to the construction industry. Selection. Choose appropriate PPE based on the specific hazards of the construction site, example, helmets, gloves, eye protection. Use. Ensure PPE is worn correctly and consistently by all personnel. Maintenance. Regularly inspect and maintain PPE to ensure it remains effective. Training. Provide training on the proper use, maintenance, and limitations of PPE. 48. What are the emergency medical measures for construction sites? First aid kits. Ensure well-stocked first aid kits are available on site. First aid training. Train workers in basic first aid and CPR. Emergency contact. Have a list of emergency contacts and procedures readily accessible. Medical facilities. Ensure access to nearby medical facilities and emergency services. Incident reporting. Implement procedures for reporting and documenting accidents and injuries. 49. Discuss the safety aspects of silos. Structural integrity. Regularly inspect silos for signs of wear, damage, or structural issues. Dust control. Implement measures to control dust and prevent explosions. Safe entry procedures. Follow proper protocols for entering and working inside silos, including confined space safety measures. Training. Provide training on silo safety and emergency procedures. 50. Explain the different types of trench failures and their prevention. Cave-in. Prevent by using trench boxes, shoring, or shielding to support trench walls. Lateral spread. Stabilize the trench by sloping the sides or using shoring systems. Topple. Avoid excavation too close to the edge by maintaining proper distances and using protective measures. Heave. Monitor and manage soil pressure by using proper shoring and avoiding overloading. 51. Explain how to improve housekeeping at a construction site. Regular cleaning. Implement a routine cleaning schedule to keep work areas tidy and free of debris. Proper storage. Store tools and materials in designated areas to prevent clutter. Waste management. Establish waste disposal procedures and provide adequate receptacles. Training. Educate workers on the importance of good housekeeping and its impact on safety. 52. What are the special precautions for construction works involving cable car installations? Safety protocols. Follow specific safety guidelines for installation and maintenance. Structural integrity. Ensure the cable car structures and supports are properly designed and installed. Testing. Conduct thorough testing of the cable car system before use. Training. Train workers on the safe operation and maintenance of cable car systems. 53. Explain the safety measures to be taken in the works of distillation columns and transmission lines. Distillation columns. Implement proper pressure and temperature controls. Ensure adequate ventilation and emergency shutdown systems. Use PPE and follow safe handling procedures for chemicals. Transmission lines. Maintain safe distances from live power lines and use insulated tools. Ensure proper grounding of equipment and follow safety procedures during maintenance. Provide training for workers on electrical safety and emergency response. 54. What are the safety measures and requirements for heavy equipment operators? Training. Ensure operators are properly trained and certified for the equipment they are using. Inspection. Conduct regular inspections and maintenance of equipment. Safety protocols. Follow manufacturer guidelines and safety procedures. PPE. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Site safety. Maintain clear communication with ground personnel and ensure safe working conditions around the equipment. Thanks for watching. For guidance on important topics and key questions for the exam, don't forget to follow my channel, Funny EHS Info. We provide you with the best content to help you excel in your career.
This is all about today's topic. Thanks for watching Funny EHS Info. And don't forget to subscribe our channel to get immediate notification of our videos. Share our videos to your friends and colleagues to create safety awareness. If you have any questions and requirements, please comment in comment box.